I'm Becky from Dot to Dot Studio.
And hello, I'm Sarah from It's So Kotoko.
We wanted to start by telling you what we're actually wearing today so that anyone who's interested has all the information. This is an Ogden Cami, well, a slightly adjusted Ogden Cami that I made actually when I was very pregnant. So I've tucked the excess down the front, which my normal ones aren't actually as long as this. This works quite well, especially on a slightly fatter day when you want to eat more lunch. This was just a piece of fabric from my stash from a few years ago. I don't have this in stock, but it's really very beautiful. And Sarah and I were just discussing that it's actually one of the few fabrics we think that we would actually fight over in a shop because it's from both our colour palettes, isn't it?
Ticks, the bright flowers sort of, yeah, they help you. And I like the sort of like the muted background. So again, I think it worked really well for both of us.
I did a few little tweaks to this. So for those of you who don't know the Ogden Cami, where have you been? The Ogden now comes in two size ranges. The 0 to 18 size has no darts, and the 14 to 30 size has bust darts, which really helps so that you don't get that tenting. This one I've made extra tenty, of course, to accommodate a bump, but normally you don't want to have sort of that much extra fabric out the front. I didn't have enough fabric to do the facing, and I also didn't want the shadow of the fabric showing through on the inside of this. So I've used a shop bought bias binding as a facing to go around the neck edge.
And it's just a single layer.
It's just single layer, which is really lightweight.
It makes it hang really beautifully.
Yeah, it works nicely.
A lot less fabric needed as well.
It means you can get it out of literally your length from here to here, which means if you've got like 60 centimetres left of really beautiful fabric, you can just make it out of that.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah. Or if you've got something like this that's translucent and you don't want it to be as fine and sheer, you could then line it in one of the plain viscoses, much like the ones that we showcased one time in that you'd made a top from.
I love them. I love them just for my my everyday
they're
tops.
Fantastic for lining. I'll just grab one actually quickly,
Yeah,
because those are exactly the kind of thing you'd use. No, I don't know where I put them. I don't know where I put them. They are the whole range of plain viscose we've got on the website. No, I wasn't going to mention those. But the other alteration I've made to this is I didn't have enough fabric, so I've cut it with a seam down the back, and I've lowered the V because I just found it too high. So I took it as low as I could without showing my bra strap. Anyway, so that's what I'm wearing.
That's very nice. And I am wearing, I've actually finished it. I actually finished it a little while ago, but we just haven't done a video for a while.
I know, it's been about a month.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We've just been so busy. But I actually finished my Charlie caftan. So here it is. It's all made. I will put a little clip of the video in like full size of us so you can see the full length. But
in the edited version, it might be right now. Here is Sarah in her beautiful Charlie caftan. Go on, give us a twirl, Sarah.
Give it a twirl. I have to say, I absolutely love this dress. I really didn't think that I would be up for a kind of a floaty, loose fitting, because I'm kind of like a much more fitted kind of girl. But I love it, and I can't wait to make my next one.
Let's just show us the split in the leg. We can see how far cut up it comes. Really lovely. And it has a little tie that comes around the back, just nips it in at the waist. You've got such long hair.
Yeah, I thought that would be great. So yeah, this is what I've actually made. I've also made this last couple of weeks a really pretty top pattern. It's the new look N6656, and this is the pattern here, and I made it in the it's the version B, and I made the short sleeved version of this, which is really pretty. And I've picked out a couple of my fabrics that I thought that you might like to make with it. Talking about it, I think if you make version B, what were we saying? It really does suit a crisp look. So this is the top that I've made.
So this is a cotton poplin.
Yeah, this is a cotton poplin of the top. It was a really, really simple make. It was really nice. It was super sweet to put together.
Snap.
Yeah, snap with the
bias binding.
I did cheat. I put ready-made bias binding, and I always put my labels in. Yeah, but sometimes it's like, why not? Sometimes it's just like so easy, and it's just the perfect colour in here. So I've made that one. What was this fabric called? I've got it here.
This is called Bloomsbury Birds on the website.
So this is the fabric here. It's
you love a bird
beautiful.
fabric.
I love bird fabric. I kitchen. I have birds in there. It's just like I've got birds everywhere. So literally, if I can find a reason or an excuse to have birds on anything, then I always will. But it's quite a crisp fabric, so it's quite structured when I wear it. But I've made it specifically to wear with workwear under a suit. It also looks particularly nice just with a pair of dark denim jeans, and that's what I've actually ended up wearing it a couple of times with that. So it's really, really lovely. It didn't take me long to make at all.
No.
And so that was that. We've got a couple of other examples of the crisp fabrics here, so I just might let Becky tell you a little bit about those.
Wow, we just picked these out a minute ago because we thought that these would look really beautiful in that top. This is actually, it's not a poplin, this is a cotton lawn. It's a slightly more loosely woven lawn than you might, it's not got a high thread count, but it does give it a nice drape, a nice flow to it. This one, this was back in the spring when I was imagining all the places I'd like to go on holiday because I knew I wasn't going to get a summer holiday. This one's called Essaouira, after my favourite town in Morocco, and this one is called Marrakesh. So you'll find these on the website. I just I absolutely love the colour combinations.
So much detail in there as well, isn't there?
It looks like I think it's like a watercolour style print, but I think those would work really nicely for your top. I mean, we've got so many fabrics that would look nice, but these two I just pulled out because thought you'd like to see them. So yeah, Marrakesh and Essaouira. They're also really wide, which is great, especially looking at that's 100 and, I think it's more than 140 wide actually, but they're really nice and wide. That one's one of the crafting width cottons, so it's 110, 112 wide.
Okay, and I think, I still think I even had fabric left. I think even from the measurements that they suggested on the pattern, I still had a bit left when I made it out of this. I wasn't struggling at all to get it out of their fabric recommendations.
1.4, 1.5.
Yes,
I can imagine you'd have some left.
Yeah, so that was a really nice one. And then just the other thing to mention, I think if I did make version A, which has got they're called fluted. What would you call it? Yeah, fluted. But have got the fluted sleeves on there. I think if I made version A, I would like to make it out of a slightly softer, more floaty fabric. So pulled out a couple that I thought would be really nice to look at there.
You're specifically thinking about work.
Well, I was thinking about
well,
work. Yes, I was thinking about that. So I was thinking, I quite often work abroad, so I don't always like to wear a jacket. So sometimes it's really nice to have a top, but that's got more detail. So I do sort of feel smart because I've got a sleeve. Still, I don't sort of. It makes me feel like I'm not being too casual. So when you've sort of got the sleeve look there, there were 3 fabrics that I found there. So this one's a viscose. I don't know what you've called that one on the website, but it's really floaty and
it's quite nice, I think, for work as well to have some. Cause although I love a conversational print, I love your birds. For work, if you're standing giving a presentation or something, it might be a bit distracting. People are going, is that a kookaburra or a sparrow? so something a little bit more generic, like a polka dots, or the other ones that we've pulled out here. This one I think I called brainwaves. I don't know why I called it brainwaves.
It's quite a clever name for it.
But it's got those squiggly lines going through it, which I think again have got a nice pattern repeat. Good for workwear.
I think that would also be really nice in a dress. Just looking at
it
that,
would be
actually
lovely for a dress.
Really nice in a either or. Maybe get an extra ½ metre of it for a dress. Get an extra ½ metre, and then you'll always be able to like wiggle out another pattern. That's what I quite often do.
Well, that's why I've got so many Ogdens, because I can get one out of 60 centimetres, especially if I use bias binding or if I face it in something else. So yeah, I've got probably, don't know, 8 maybe made up.
8 or so, yeah.
And I've probably got about another 5 cut out in bags alongside other projects so that I knew that I had enough fabric. So I cut them out together. Yeah. So you play pattern Tetris. So you get all your pattern pieces for the one the garment you're actually making, and then your little scrap buster. If you lay them all out at the same time.
That was the best tip you ever gave me. It's like don't chop out one pattern and then see what you have left. It was lay all the pattern pieces out as you actually go.
Do you have to be fairly confident that something fits you? So if you've made a toile, that's it's brilliant to do. But if you haven't made it and you think, I don't know, I might need to alter this, don't do it like that. Just in case you eat into your spare fabric by cutting something else out at the same time. So depending on the confidence you have in the pattern you're using. Oh, and there's one more of these fabrics.
There's one more. This one's Actually, no, I think that's my favourite. I think that's my favourite, but I think this one's my second favourite.
That's lovely. I mean, the
really
colours
like
of that,
it's
nice
lovely.
and light for summer. It's got a lovely drape to it. The link to each of these fabrics will be in the description below the video. Link below.
Yeah, the link below. On my iPad, it's always to the side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, or to the side. Well, it might be that way. I can't
And
remember.
what about on
which way it
phones?
is.
I don't know. There's a link somewhere around here. There's a link.
We'll find a link. So yeah, so that was my makes and some fabric choices for there. I think you've got a link that takes us into the not a link, a make. Sorry, that takes us slightly into later summer.
Well, we've had
possibly
rubbish weather.
I hate to mention it, but like thinking about it.
Well, yeah, transitional
word.
garments.
Oh.
So we've had such rubbish weather. I decided rather than making myself summer clothes, I would make a lightweight jumper, which I did. In fact, I'll try it on. I'll put it on, and you can see. This is a toaster sweater, but I knew I wanted it to be a little bit shorter, so I used the hems. I'll show you the toaster. This is the toaster, again available in 2 different size ranges, and I did version 2, and I've adapted the neck slightly, but I've also adapted it. I can't just make a pattern straight out of the envelope. I have to do something to make it my own. But version 2 has a deep split down the side here, and I knew I still wanted the split. Oh yeah, probably easier to see in the diagram here. And rather than keeping it full length, I actually turned the hem up on itself, made the split a little bit higher, so I've still got the split at the side, but the hem is deeper, and therefore I've got a boxier shape, which is what I wanted for summer with a high-waisted jean or something. It doesn't work with this top because it kind of billows out underneath the bottom. This fabric, I love it because it's got little squares on one side, and then on the reverse it's got a stripe. And I always intended to wear this rolled up, so I added a little tiny cuff with the stripe side out on that way.
Oh yeah, and your neckline.
And the neckline, yeah, which you can probably see just there. So I just wanted to highlight both sides of the fabric, but I knew I'd always wear it rolled up. I just thought this would be really nice for summer with a tan, which I've almost got now, having had a really lovely weekend in the garden. So having just made this jumper now, the weather has turned, but obviously not for long. So this is, yeah, my little adapted toaster, and the fabric I used is this one on the roll, and you can see very clearly here on the other side the stripe. We've got this in one other colourway, and this is actually reduced on the website because it has succumbed to the harsh sun and has a very slight fade down the crease. This wouldn't have affected me actually the way I made this, because to get this out of the pattern I folded both edges in towards the middle. So this is a really good way of getting more out of your fabric. So if you get your 2 edges and bring them in towards the middle, you then create 2 folds. You see this sometimes on the pattern instructions, and you can put your front on one, back on the other, then you refold it back to how you want it, how it was originally, to cut your sleeve out. That way you don't actually use the crease at all. So there is a little bit of this fabric left on the website. It is a bit reduced for that reason, but this would make up really nicely as well. I just fancied it in the white.
Yeah, actually both colours are really, really nice.
They're really lovely, but I really fancied the white. I think I sort of imagine a life that I don't live, where I don't have a toddler that smears food around the place. So I've actually been too scared to wear it. So this has come to work with me. Every time I thought we might film, I brought it in the bag with me, and then I thought, oh, we're not going to, and I thought, better not wear it before a film, because with Flora running around with little mucky fingers, I didn't want it to have fingerprints on it before we filmed.
It looks perfect.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, I'm way too hot. Oh, the other fabric I thought would work really nicely for this is this fabric. We just had a little delivery, so there'll be a little jump in the video, but this was the fabric I was about to show you. This one, which on the website is called Rain Drenched Tiles, and it is a lightweight French terry with lots of lovely purples, inky blues and greens. I'll hold it up nice and close. I think it's really, really pretty. This one I was thinking about, I went to a place in Fez in Morocco where they make like mosaic tables and things, and it was absolutely lashing down with rain, and so this kind of just reminds me of it.
I think you're having a Morocco.
I was
sort of
definitely,
feel
yeah,
today.
I definitely,
I was, you know, I was just like with the
I didn't
two
call it
fabrics from
Fez,
earlier.
but it reminds me of
But
Fez. Yeah, so definitely, I was planning on holidays. Well, fantasising about holidays when I named the fabrics. So that
was it.
is.
Oh, you were just going to show a couple of the other patterns that you think just
yes.
might work really well
So
with
for
those
lightweight
fabrics.
sort of transitional jumpers, so there's the toaster that we've talked about, and this is the Linden sweatshirt, which is a raglan sleeve, which is where the, well, this one's drop shoulder, so raglan sleeve is where it comes up at this angle. The toaster also has a raglan option with a deeper collar at the neck.
I make that one. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the one that I
that's
love.
lovely.
I've
Really
got a couple of
cosy.
those. I really like them.
They're
My
really
favourites.
good. A raglan sleeve is brilliant if you're quite broad-shouldered. Yeah, so because then you don't need to worry about where that seam sits. And a drop shoulder sometimes can actually add width, which is quite good if you're narrow-shouldered. I'm neither really. I'm about average
Yeah,
at my
we're
shoulders,
both, yeah.
but so that would be lovely. And this would also work really well with the two-tone fabric, because you could put the sleeves going one way out and the body going the other, so that you could pick up on both elements of the fabric. And the other one, which I haven't made but I really want to, is the Jarrah, the Megan Nielsen Jarrah, and that has a tie option, or it has a scooped hem. I have to admit, I'm not sure about these cuffs here, these flappy cuffs. I think I'd just knock over my tea. I think it looks lovely, but I don't think how practical it would be in real life.
Division on the front, out of interest. Yeah,
She's sort of got it there, so she's got the split
one
cuffs
in the
there.
grey.
I love the idea of it, but I'm not sure how practical it is in real life. But the tie front one I really love, and View A, which is just a classic boxy sweatshirt, I think it's really nice as well. So those are my little picks for transitional jumpers, and yeah, I think that's it. We've covered what we tried to keep it nice and short today.
Tried. I wonder how long we've been.
I don't know.
We have to look at the
But
phone.
we are capable of whittering on for quite a long time. Anyway, on that note,
Yeah.
it's been lovely to see you again,
Lovely.
and we will we'll be back soon with another video, hopefully with some more makes.
Fabulous. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Lovely places abroad when I put this fabric to. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Give it a try tonight and see what you think.
So much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
That's
nice
wonderful.
little shimmer.
Yeah. Thanks, Trish.
Why don't you just bring that fabric in again?
Yeah.
And then you control that wherever you like.
Bless her heart. She did say she's going to bring that in for me. That's so kind of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely, aren't they?
It's because I've got this black tie thing tomorrow
know.
night.
It's mint.
Okay.